Endlich geht es wieder los. Herzlich willkommen zur DTM Trophy im Rahmen der DTM. Es ist die neue Saison 2022. Ja, und letztes Jahr war ja schon unfassbar spannend. Da ging es um das Battle zwischen Ben Green und William Tregurtha. Und am Ende hat Ben Green sich den Titel geschnappt. Ja, und auch dieses Jahr 2022 hört sich sehr, sehr vielversprechend an. Wir haben viele, viele Fahrer im Feld. Insgesamt haben wir 24 Fahrer, 10 Teams und 11 Nationen. Ja, und einer der Fahrer ist Tim Heinemann, ein bekanntes Gesicht bei der DTM Trophy. Tim, du hast vorletztes Jahr, gleich in deinem Rookie-Jahr bei der DTM Trophy, hast du dir den Titel geschnappt. Letztes Jahr, ich formuliere es mal so, ist suboptimal gelaufen. Dieses Jahr startest du die Saison gleich mit der Pole Position. Das heißt, meinst du, dass du gleich beim ersten Rennen dann auch einen Sieg heimfährst?
Das will ich hoffen, das ist auch der Plan. Also klar, war natürlich jetzt ein Mega-Start. Ich denke, ich bin der Einzige aus dem Feld, der den Peak vom Reifen ideal erwischt hat. Deswegen täuscht das Bild nach dem Quali ein bisschen. Da müssen wir das Rennen jetzt mal abwarten, wie es dann wirklich aussieht. Aber der Start war auf jeden Fall schon mal so, wie er sein soll.
Auf jeden Fall. Lausitzring ist ein bisschen tricky. Zum Glück ist es trocken. Noch vor 20 Minuten hatten wir plötzlich Schauer. Das heißt, ich denke, wir gehen vom trockenen Rennen aus. Aber wie tricky wird es, glaubst du? Wie tough wird es für dich?
Das ist eine sehr gute Frage. Das ist das erste Mal, dass ich mit dem Auto dann wirklich so eine lange Distanz fahre. Deswegen müssen wir schauen, wie sich der Reifen entwickelt. Aber ich fühle mich gut, bin guter Dinge und ja, will dann natürlich gleich auch wieder ganz vorne stehen auf dem Podium.
Alles klar, Daumen sind gedrückt. Vielen herzlichen Dank, Tim. Und wir gehen gleich mal weiter, denn auf P2 steht ein Brasilianer, und zwar Thiago Vivacqua. Und da sind wir sehr, sehr gespannt, wie es für ihn aussieht. Er ist auf P2, wie gesagt, also hört sich auf jeden Fall gut an. Ich switch mal auf Englisch. Hello there. So starting from P2, I guess that sounds very promising. How tough do you think is the race going to be?
Der Start von Platz 2 schaut recht vielversprechend aus. Was ist dein Ziel? Erste Kurve wird sehr herausfordernd. Guter Start, Position finden.
All right, and obviously you're a rookie in the DTM Trophy, and DTM Trophy is for the new talents. So do you see the DTM Trophy as a chance to jump maybe into
Ist das
the
für
DTM?
dich ein Sprungbrett, in die DTM zu kommen? Ich hoffe natürlich eines Tages.
But before then, you need to win some races. So you go for it and best of luck for the race.
Viel
Thank
Glück.
you so much. Und ja, jetzt gehen wir weiter nochmal zur P3. Da haben wir nämlich jemanden aus den USA, und zwar haben wir JP Southern. Und wie gesagt, P3, auch das.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the DTM Trophy Round 1, Race 1 of the 2022 season. We've got lots of new drivers, lots of new cars, but still a very talented grid to indeed sink our teeth into. It's a glorious day here at the Lausitzring. It did actually rain maybe 30 minutes ago, and the whole track was covered in water. But it isn't anymore because it is a very, very warm day indeed. So it will be dry tyres. Track temperature has dropped ever so slightly, although actually in the last 10 minutes it's gone up 10 degrees. So it's back up to around about 32.2 degrees. Oh baby, this is going to be very, very good indeed. Just waiting for the fun bus there, the Red Bull disco truck to embark off the circuit. Lovely old job. Let me know where you're watching from around the world in the YouTube chat. If you're watching around the world on television, which there are multiple countries doing so, you can message me on Twitter or indeed Instagram at AcTrollVision, ACTROLL Vision. As here we are then, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some racing action. Doors wide open, trying to get some of that final bit of fresh air into the cars. It is very hot here. I had no idea that Germany had moved to the Mediterranean, but again, here we are. This is good. Can only apologise for the wind. So here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm allowed to talk now. I have no idea. Well, I'm going to talk regardless. So they got one full formation lap here, then it will be a 30-minute plus 1 lap race. We are not expecting any pit stops during this. It will be a sprint from start to finish. It will be Tim Heinemann, the inaugural champion in 2020. He will take us away in the Toyota Supra there. The Toyota Gazoo Racing Germany, powered by Ring Racing. Yes, the longest team name in the history of motorsport. In second spot, then, we have indeed got hashtag Viva Vivacqua. Viva Vivacqua. That's the hashtag, isn't it? There we go. So we got Vivacqua then in second position. Had a nice chat with him earlier on, actually. One of the most chilled dudes there is. As we get back to the DTM Trophy, special camera shots. Look at this. Oh, we love to see it. Beautiful stuff here in a formation lap. But it is a sprint race, as simple as that. I expect there to be a little bit of a tyre drop-off in the latter stages of the race, but during the BMW M2 Cup earlier on, we were expecting it to be a considerable drop-off, and it just really wasn't ever, to be honest. So, yeah, we're not sure what to expect. It is the first round of the season, so of course, we have no idea what could go down. All we know is it's going to be very special, it's going to be exciting, and there are lots of points in the offering. The most winningest driver in DTM Trophy history will start pole with a debutant. Vivacqua starting in second, another debutant then in JP Southern in third position, and then we've got Edouard Kauhalp in fourth position, another debutant, followed by, yet again, another debutant. Almeida, then Capo as well, who's in his first race. Salonen, who's back for a second season, and he looks comfortable this year. So expect to see the Finn potentially move forward. We have indeed got ourselves a national karting champion from South Africa for Haida Motorsport in 8th position in Mikael Pitamba. Then we've got Gregor and Moritz Lohner as your top 10. So they are now heading up towards the sweeping right-hander, in towards that final sector they will come. And then they'll be waiting for the green lights to indeed appear. And we will be, of course, green light racing. Please let me know in the chat where you're watching from around the world. Any questions I'll try and answer during this race if I have time. Who are you supporting? Where are you watching from? Let's get excited. This should be very good indeed. Just coming up then towards the final 4 corners here. And on camera, it does not do the final sector here justice, just how tight it is, especially the final 3 corners. The second and third from last corners are so tight. Sweeping chicane into that final left-hander. And will the Supra prove to be a little bit too strong for everybody else in the field? In qualifying, the gap was 0.8 of a second. Nobody expected that. Nobody expected that. The times have been so close all weekend, but Tim just had something special. He pulled a rabbit out of the hat, if you like. So here we go then. So Tim Heineman is in that Toyota. We have got the Audi on the left-hand side of your screens, which is Vivacqua. Then we've got JP Southern, who is in that black and gold Audi just behind Tim Heineman. And then we've got a first of the BWT Muka Motorsport AMGs, both pink there. And as you can see, Vivacqua's making it very difficult here, already squeezing Tim Heineman. It's 4 red lights at the top of your screens here. 30 minutes plus 1 lap, and we are green light racing, and it is an absolute drag race then. Down in towards turn number 1. It's 4, it's 5, maybe even 6 wide in places here already. As we head then through turn number 1, the Audi's just about got its nose in front here. Vivacqua trying to make a move, but unfortunately will lose out with the camber of the corner and just run out ever so slightly wide. Does not leave the door open for JP Southern. Will hold on to P2 and actually will have to get across and defend here. So it looks like Tim Heineman is absolutely out on his own in the lead here. JP Southern potentially looking for a move up the inside of turn 2. Not quite going to be close enough. And now everybody will be jostling for position. Moritz Lohner in that red BMW runs a hell of a lot wide. He's in the grass. 3, 4 cars rally crossing their way through turn 3. And they're all going to join right to the back of the pack here. So many freebie positions in the offering. And absolutely take your chances, take those positions and take those points home with you. Not ideal there for Moritz Lohner. Not too sure who else was involved in that, but ultimately 4, 5 into 1 doesn't work out, especially at turn 2 here. And it's such a strong braking zone as well. As we see the number 63 running wide there. That is Regal for the Speed Monkeys team in the Aston Martin. Just about gets it tucked in nicely. Very easy to run out really wide there through that right-handed hairpin into the gravel, lose so much time on the exit, but you're golden. But as you can see, the lead then is still Tim Heineman. Tim Heineman, who is one of the best front runners in motorsport, who I've commentated on, that's for sure. Once he gets out in the lead, very rarely do you catch him, and he's proving to be a thorn in everybody's side here. As we see a late lunge up the inside, and it's just about going to work out there for Colin Karasani. Last year was in the BMW M2 Cup, which was like a support series for the DTM. And well, with moves like that, he is absolutely going to be, well, I'm going to be enjoying watching him for the rest of this season for sure. At the end of lap number 1 then, 28 minutes left on the clock. It is indeed Tim Heineman at lead. Vivacqua second. JP Southern in third position. We've got Capo then in 4th. Kauhalp and Hanke are 5th and 6th. Uverhaus up to 7th spot. Then Salinen's dropped down. Almeida's dropped down. Fulgencio holds on to that top 10. Karasani, Patamba, Regal, Hoffman, Gregor, Folev, Lerner, Henkefend, Wallace and Papadopoulos are your 20 drivers in through turn 2 once again. Bit of a procession really for the top 10, maybe top 11. As we see the potential move here is a Porsche on an Audi here. Are we going to see this pulled off? I think we are. Absolutely are. Gregor up the inside. Just about holds on to it as well. It's a lovely move. Lots of BMWs at the back as well. BMW have really been, I don't know, I guess hit hard with the BOP because they do not seem like a strong car at this stage of the season already. And a lot of the BMW drivers aren't happy about it. So, yeah, how that transpires for the rest of the season will remain to be seen. And that is a lovely move actually made at the inside. That was Capo. So Capo was actually defending there from Kauhalp. Kauhalp is just about in behind here. Very close indeed. As we now have the timing here. And we've got the beautiful DTM Trophy cameras once again. The camera angles of this championship are always stunning, aren't they, to the eye? As there's someone off in the gravel there. Looks like they're okay as well. I think that might have been Wallace at the back there. Yes, it is. So Jordan Wallace then falls backwards in the order, unfortunately, and moves behind Papadopoulos. They're battling for position right in the background there. Through the final couple of corners on the end of lap 2. And you can see a little bit of bump in there between that pink AMG and indeed that blue Porsche just in front. And that's actually giving a bit of an opportunity here for Hanke. Hanke in that Speed Monkeys Aston Martin. Well, he's got the run here, hasn't he? For sure. Kauhalp under a lot of pressure as they run up towards turn number 1. The gap's open. Tried to close it at the latest possible opportunity. And this is a very tough corner to go side by side. We've already seen cars try and make moves around the outside. Vivacqua being one of those drivers and losing a hell of a lot of time. And ultimately, it was very clever from Kauhalp. Decided to back out of the situation. Didn't lose too much time. And ultimately does lose 1 position. But still can go and fight for that top 5. Heinemann still leads, then Vivacqua in second spot. Southern is in third. That's how they qualified. So they were already, Tim Heinemann was already leading the championship. 3 points for qualifying P1. Vivacqua, 2 points for qualifying P2. And then, of course, Southern, 1 point for qualifying P3. They're in that order as it stands. As we can see, the Speed Monkeys, Aston Martin trying to make that move on Cowhelp, or Cowhelp trying to get back through, should I say, as we come then down towards that sweeping right-hander. This is very, very tough for the number 18. As soon as you get off the cambered part of the corner, it's like tabletop to the left-hand side, and you will just run off into the gravel. It's just nowhere to maneuver really round the outside, and actually we'll have to live to fight another day as it stands. But the pressure from Theo Uverhaus, the youngest ever winner in the DTM Trophy, is just behind in that BMW in 7th, and he is the top BMW driver on the grid right now. I think he's overperforming, to be completely honest, considering what times we've seen so far this weekend from the Beamers. So yeah, Theo Uverhaus, is he going to be able to make himself an opportunity maybe to move up towards that top 5? And then as we move forward for the championship, look back on this and think that was an incredible result there. As we see Salonen just run a little bit wide, and to be fair, it's more to do with Almeida sticking his nose in through that final corner. And Salonen just runs wide, but ultimately holds the momentum with that outside line, getting that power down nice and early with the Audi. The Audi is so quick in a straight line as well. And actually, to be fair, Almeida's made a mistake here, and that is Fulgencio in that black and white medium marked BMW up the inside, sweeps it through turn number 1, and takes full advantage of the 2 cars in front fighting. Almeida drops another position backwards, and he is not going to be happy with how things have gone thus far. Heinemann, though, on the other hand, nearly 2 seconds in the lead here in the Toyota, and then it's Audi. Vivacqua, JP Southern are your top 3. We've then got Capo, who apparently has got the craziest fan base on the grid. He's warned me. He said, "Oh, yeah, my fan base, they will try and have fun with you during these races." Well, get involved, guys. Absolutely get involved. Welcome. And then we've got indeed Hanker for Speed Monkeys, currently in P5. So again, defending for his life here with Cowhelp just behind. And I'm not sure this race is going to end up like this. The tyre drop-off, we're expecting to see some tyre drop-off for sure. It really just depends on how much of it, and on which manufacturer as well. We're just so many unknowns. The track as well yesterday was so different to what it is today. We had lots of rain last night. We had a little bit of rain before this race as well. So we could be expecting absolutely anything and everything, as we do indeed have a look at the replay. There's a Vivacqua in a number 31 Audi. Tried to make something work around the outside. And after watching the DTM race where Sheldon van der Linde did exactly the same thing to take the lead, well, ultimately, it didn't quite work out this time, but he was brave. He tried it. Look at Moritz Lohner. Moritz Lohner, I think, in that red BMW, has just gone off left shot. Henkefeld's off the circuit as well. Yeah, unfortunately, Gregor went off as well there, didn't he? Yeah, Gregor and Papadopoulos. So that was the 4 drivers that went off the circuit. But it was really all their own doing. Look at it. They're all just, it's monkey see, monkey do. You see someone else brake a little bit later than they should do, and you think, oh, I can brake later, and then you realise, oh, no, they made a mistake, but I'm braking even later than them. But ultimately, they are all still in this race, which is good. As we see, Rosanius Wallace, wasn't it? It was Wallace there that was running in the kitty litter. Comes back on, though. No harm, no foul. Still down in P20, but not far off the pace, actually. Only 0.2 of a second behind Papadopoulos. So those two are going to have a bit of a fight down there. Top 10 score points in this championship, so they're not fighting for points at this stage, but a lot of these drivers are going to just be finding their feet with the car. Tim Heinemann in the lead, and it was 1.5 seconds last time they went across the timing beam. It looks like it might be a little bit bigger than that. Judging by what we're seeing on our screens, definitely looks a lot bigger than 1.5, although Vivacqua's just done the fastest lap of the race. Actually races in Brazilian stock cars over in Brazil. There's Vivacqua. Gonna have a lovely chat with him earlier. Really nice chap. And yeah, he has raced pretty much, for such a young man, he's pretty much raced everything. A very storied history in his very young 20s. Oh, a little bit of a nudge there. Oh, Speed Monkey's car just trying to find a gap here. And when you can't find a gap, you sometimes try and make the gap. Ultimately, that is what's happening right there. It's not ideal, but here we are. So Capo's just got to try and keep his car in check here. Do not lose any momentum and do not be forced offline through that final corner. It's so important that you're on a power as early as possible through that final corner. For the simple fact is, it's the longest run through one down towards turn number 2. It's where you can lose or gain the most amount of time. And actually, I think you'll find here that Hanke is under a lot of pressure from Kauhaupt because of that. Although, as they head down in towards turn number 2, the gaps now are forming, and they are actually okay. Theo Uverhaus is the next car behind in that BMW. Will be looking to take full advantage. And also, he has, as we check out a little bit of a replay here. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, that is, I think that's Sterian Folev. It's a Folev there. That looks cool, but I can assure you that's not fast. So Folev now drops down to P20 because of that. Very minimal mistake, but unfortunately for him, maximum damage in terms of time lost there as we see the potential battle. Well, actually, the battle has happened. Hanke did get ahead of Capo, has got ahead of Capo, holds that position on Capo. He has checked the whole field up here as well. Kauhaupt now, who for me, yesterday in practice, looked like he was going to be the driver to beat. Didn't quite transpire into qualifying. Theo Uverhaus, remember, someone's off the circuit in the background there as well. Theo Uverhaus, remember, is one of only 4 drivers who have experience in this championship. As Kauhaupt is off the circuit, off we go. The number 18 then, Eduard Kauhaupt is, well, dropping down like a fly. Where's he going to end up here? It's behind the 25, he's going to be P12. So Gregor now moves up to P11. And everybody else in between moves up 1 position. Is there any contact here, though? So Uverhaus just in behind, the trees there. Oh, no, it's a very late defensive move, and then just misses his braking point. There was a tree there that could have covered any potential contact, but I don't think there was. I think he just moved a little bit too late, ghosted himself, and unfortunately ended up off the circuit. So going back to my point, Theo Uverhaus is one of 4 drivers here that have any kind of experience. He did a full season last season, our youngest ever winner at Hockenheimring last season as well. So he will have the experience with the tyres. He knows exactly what's going to go down because he raced here last season as well with the same car. So expect him to become a little bit faster as the season goes on, as we see a potential move in towards turn 2. These two, oh wow, they have been battling hammer and tongs for now. 3 laps in total. And it's Hanke that now has the advantage. Capo now down to P5, and that is just bringing them into the clutches of Theo Uverhaus, who's now into P6 as well. Could he get a top 5? I think he'd be very, very happy with a top 5 if you offered that to him before this race began. Front 3, by the way, absolutely checked out here. Heinemann, Vivacqua and Heinemann keep trading fastest laps as well. So Vivacqua's had 2, and I think Heinemann's had 3 separate fastest laps during this race. So really incredible stuff from those two, and just consistent. And are we already starting to see the title protagonist here? JP Southern not too far behind, 3.2 seconds. It's going to be very difficult for him to catch up. But they will be just burning those tyres out as well, because they get 1 full set to use tomorrow. So they get 3 sets across the weekend. They will more than likely be using their 2nd set for this race and qualifying this morning. And I would imagine they'll use a 3rd set tomorrow. I'm not too sure if any of the drivers might have got fruity and decided to put a fresh set on today for the race. So they got 2 scrub sets tomorrow. Who knows? All I can tell you is that none of these drivers have ballast in the car because it is round number 1. But there is success ballast for the front 3 that they will not carry in qualifying, but they will carry in the next championship race. So as we run then through turn number 1, Uverhaus is just dragging Salonen along. So Salonen, another driver who has got the experience from last season, drove for CV Performance Motorsport in the AMG. He was partnered with Will Tregerfer, who was indeed our vice champion last season. Seems to have found his feet in this Audi. Definitely didn't have the pace in the AMG. I spoke to him this morning and I said, it just didn't look like you really suited the AMG last season. He's like, it didn't really suit my driving style. Seems a lot more comfortable now. You can see he's really piling on that pressure to Theo Uverhaus. All of a sudden, though, they've got behind them Almeida. So Almeida starting to make some inroads here. Qualified well, but it's just dropped back very similarly to Kauhaupt, his teammate. He hasn't been off the circuit like his teammate was, but ultimately, indeed, has dropped a bit further back. As there's a move being made in the background there, and that was Gregor. So Gregor has just jumped up a spot here by the looks of things. And then a bit further back, you can just see Moritz Lohner trying to come back through here. So yeah, Kauhaupt making his way back through. He actually made the overtake on to Gregor, and now we've got Regal closing up behind him as well for the Speed Monkeys outfit. As we head then towards that final couple of corners. It's Tim Heinemann that leads here. Vivacqua in 2nd. Southern is in 3rd. Hanke, Capo, Uverhaus. We've then got Salonen, Almeida, Carasani, Der Fulgencio as your top 10. Kauhaupt, Gregor, Regal, Lohner. We've then got Hankefend, Pitamba, Hoffman, Papadopoulos, Wallace and Folev as your 20 drivers. There's Heinemann then coming through turn number 1. And I tell you what, Matthias Salonen is in the background here, side by side for what would be P6, I think. The front two are away and good here. So is Southern. Then we've got Hanke, Capo, Overhaus and Salonen. Still on board then with the lead group here. Nice 2-second gap. Vivacqua, does he have the pace in the last 15 minutes to maybe close up and make a bit of a charge? Who knows? Theo Overhaus has held on to that position there. Runs a little bit wide through 2. Tidies it up nicely though through 3. And again, we're going to see them fighting for probably the rest of this race as Almeida does close in. So here we go. It's a nice little battle between Moritz Lohner and Henke Fendt. Henke Fendt, who was the BMW M2 champion last season, which has given him a drive here in the DTM Trophy. He's gone straight up from that series to this one. And I'm going to be completely honest, he's performing a lot better than he has been all weekend. He's been plagued with issues for sure, because in free practice didn't get many laps down. There's some gravel being kicked up all over the show right now. But in the race, seems to be able to hang with someone like Moritz Lohner. Moritz Lohner is a very quick driver indeed. So that will be a nice feather in his cap. Salonen in that blue Audi, still right behind underneath that rear wing of the BMW. But they're also now dragging along Almeida. And Almeida seems to be the quickest out of this group at this stage of the race. Maybe save something to work with at the end. Who's played the clever game? We're over the halfway point now. Who's burnt those tyres out? How good are the tyres this season? The changeable conditions here have indeed made the track temperature a little bit lower than it was yesterday. Not as low as it was this morning, though. As Salonen is going to try and sweep round the outside here of Overhaus, decides against it. I think that's a very clever play, actually, from him. Karasani, by the way, up into P9, someone we haven't spoken about, also from the BMW M2 series last season. And he's having a nice little ding-dong there with Almeida, caught up to the back nicely. As we see a potential move then from Capo. Oh, he's going to go very late on the braking around the outside on the Aston Martin, then tidies it back up, sits in behind and decides against it. But this is not over. This group of 6 cars, oh, they are going to fight for sure. Hopefully you're all enjoying watching at home on television and indeed on YouTube. Sorry, I can't get as involved in the chat as I normally do, but this is just a crazy race. Unfortunately, for you guys wanting a shout out, but for us watching, it's very fortunate, right? This is phenomenal stuff. Round 1 of a 14-round season. Oh, this is going to be a glorious season, I can assure you. As we see a replay here, I'm not too sure what that was. Oh, wow, okay, so that's the undercarriage of the rear. Well, that is not ideal. That is not ideal at all. Not sure that will affect performance too crazily, but you can see where it was potentially dislodged. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to hurt the performance that much. But it's not ideal to lose parts of your car. I'm sure we can all agree it's not ideal to lose parts of your car, although it would appear that Hanke is actually a little bit faster. He's got a gap now to work with. Theo Overhaus, Matthias Salonen, part 7. Salonen decides again not to go around the outside. And ultimately, if you feel like you've got the pace at this stage, are you looking for 1 position or are you looking for 3 or 4? He's got to send it at some point, I would imagine. He absolutely has to send it at some point. But right now, Theo doing a very, very good job of just holding on to that position. Very late under braking there. Looks like the BMW is very good under braking, in all fairness. Karasani. As soon as we mention Karasani doing well, he is in the pit lane. So he has popped himself into the pits here. Not too sure what is the issue. As you can see in the graphic there, the bonnet is up. So that is definitely not ideal. That's race over for this one. Of course, only 11 minutes, 40 seconds to go. So yeah, very unfortunate there indeed for Karasani. But luckily, with a DTM weekend, with the DTM Trophy specifically, you have yourself 2 races. So we can always come back tomorrow and put in a performance and leave the weekend a very happy driver. Vivacqua, Heinemann, still around about 2 seconds between the front 2 here. Is there the potential for a battle? I think that Vivacqua might be saving something here to maybe attack later on. That 0.8 of a second gap that we saw in qualifying is absolutely not the case, is it? When it comes to the actual race here. Looks like the Audis are definitely able to hang. as we've still got this monumental battle. 2 sets of battling here, in fact. We've got Gregor leading away from Regal, Moritz Lohner and Henkefens. These 4 all battling for what would be a P11. And then we've got the group just a little bit further up ahead, and this is what we're watching now. Salonen, this might be a better position to be in here, because he was not hung out on the high side through the entry of turn 1, as Moritz Lohner is battling for position here as well. Can Lohner get ahead of Regal? He had the inside line, he absolutely will. Henkefen's going to try and follow him through. The Aston Martin now having to go defensive in towards turn 2. But is the slipstream a little bit too strong? Henkefen is absolutely going to send it here. The stamp's being licked, ladies and gentlemen. Is he going to be able to make it stick? He absolutely can. It's a brilliant move indeed. And actually, he might be able to attack Lohner on the exit here. No, that would be a little bit too greedy. But Regal then drops back a couple of positions. There's also a team championship this season. It's not just individual. There is a team championship as well. If you've got more than 2 drivers in your team, only the top 2 in each race will score points, just to let you know. So as we head then under that 10-minute mark left in this race, still battles all over the place for sure. Salonen, who was really attacking Uberhaus. Uberhaus, the white BMW on your screen right there. Salonen is in that blue Audi, and then you've got just in behind them Almeida. But Almeida is stopping Salonen from really being able to attack here by being so close. Then you've got Fulgencio just in behind, and then he's under pressure then from Kauhaup. And I think the BWT team, the Muka Motorsport outfit, are going to be a little bit upset with how, well, not upset, a little bit disappointed, I would say. They qualified superbly well. They've looked quick all weekend, but in the race, not so much. Salonen, for the first time, had a, I think he had his nose ahead there, but again, decides to back out. And this is us watching Salonen grow as a driver. Last season, he's absolutely keeping that car around the outside there, and he's probably losing not only the position, but he's also going to lose a couple of spots from drivers behind. Very much maturing as a driver is Matthias Salonen, and it's really nice to see. And that is what the DTM Trophy does provide. It gives these drivers an opportunity to be quick, to be competitive, to race against drivers of a very similar ability, an incredible ability. But on the flip side, it gives them a chance to really learn a lot about themselves. As I say that, though, I think Almeida just sent one up the inside as we go on board with our leader, Tim Heinemann, still 2 seconds with the advantage. Vivacqua then just in behind. Never really got close enough to attack after turn number 1. Tried to go around the outside, never quite worked out. And ultimately, that was all she said and all she done. So Hanke under a bit of pressure here. Or shall I say Capo? So Capo under a little bit of pressure here from Uberhaus. Hanke's good. He's on his own, actually, at this stage of the race. I think Salonen's got to be the one to be worried about, because Almeida is so close behind in that pink AMG. So close behind. So coming up through the final corner, we will go. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock, and there's the move then. Salonen makes the smallest of errors. It was a tiny error, but I tell you what, Almeida absolutely made that stick. Brilliant stuff there, very opportunistic, and actually has a nice little gap to work with here. That Audi is very slick in a straight line. So you can imagine there's going to be an attack back on that pink Mercedes, and well, Salonen up the inside. Oh, it's easily done. In all fairness, Fulgencio under a lot of pressure from Kauhaup as well. So Salonen, as quickly as he lost the position, he regains it. But I can assure you right now, Almeida will have that toe up towards turn 2. We'll be looking to try and go late on the brakes. As there's the flash of the lights there. It's just saying hello. Nothing more. Not trying to put him off, just saying hello. I'm going to be honest with you, Almeida. Salonen knows exactly where you are. But this is now giving Uberhaus an opportunity to maybe go and attack that Porsche. Yeah, them running side by side here gives Uberhaus an opportunity. Basically, Uberhaus had to make something stick 100%. He couldn't even take a chance with an overtake prior to this moment now. But now he's got a bit of a gap to work with. Even if he gets it wrong, he's not going to be attacked straight away from Salonen. As Fulgencio holds that inside line then through this sweeping right-hander again. Kauhaup will not be able to go on the high side here. You get stuck on a tabletop there. You will run out into the gravel. You will lose so much time. And as you can see, very cleverly just sits in behind. I think if that was a Sunday, though, I think you might be seeing him go for that. In towards the slowest section of the circuit. And that BMW really starting to maybe struggle with a bit of traction. 6 minutes left on the clock here. As again, Fulgencio sending that car onto the curb, holding the inside line. If you're going to make the move, you've got to go round me, he says. As Uverhaus has dropped back a little bit further behind that Porsche. And that Audi is probably as close as he has been to that BMW all race long. Uverhaus is going to force him to go round the outside here. And wow, how committed are you going to be? Salonen, again, decides to back out of the position. Again, P6 is great. First week of the championship, or first race of the championship, just get points on the board. Get points on the board, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. But yeah, do not do something silly that might cost you falling outside of that top 10. But I tell you what, Salonen is absolutely going to try something here, isn't he? That Porsche, the number 26, is very much struggling here. So Capo is struggling to get hold of that top 5. Theo Uverhaus runs very deep under braking. This should give Salonen a chance to maybe make something work, but it will have to be around the outside through turn number 4. And now we've got the long run down towards the sweeping right-hander. As we go for the battle for 4th, all the way over to the battle for 1st, or the lack of a battle for 1st. Heinemann, fastest lap as it stands as well. 2.7 seconds, now 3 seconds the advantage. Vivak was 4, he kept within 2 seconds for the most part of this race. But when it's come to it, Heinemann has absolutely controlled this race from start to finish. As we see Fulgencio battling with Kauhaupt. It looks like Almeida has made a move here on Salonen as well. Salonen has just dropped down to P8 on our timer screen. Fulgencio runs wide. Kauhaupt providing that pressure. And finally, Fulgencio breaks. So that is a bit of a freebie, but the hard work he had to put in to get that spot, it's worked out there. So that is a points-paying position. That is a points-paying position. Although it will change now, won't it? So you'll move up to 9th position. Fulgencio will now drop down to 10th, and it will be only 1 point if he stays there till the end. It's a big grey cloud over the track right now, which has brought the track temperature down by about 4 degrees, which probably would have helped the drivers in terms of their tyre wear near the end. There's a bit of car hanging off the back of Kauhaupt's car there, which again is not ideal. You want to keep all of those parts together. So Heinemann through 3, now through 4, runs up nice and wide, takes a nice double apex through there as well. As again, we are on board. Oh, that's a mistake. Capo runs wide. And I tell you what, Uverhaus is very close here indeed. Round the outside, has that inside line through towards turn number 4. And I tell you what, it's going to be a double whammy there. Oh, that's going to hurt Capo. One small mistake, and ultimately loses 2 positions. Almeida and Uverhaus both go through. Uverhaus up to a top 5. And I tell you what, that is not a bad performance whatsoever. Capo's going to try and retake this position. Has to get straight across the bonnet there of the AMG. Then has to leave the room on the inside because ultimately had a bit too much poke going into the corner and loses back out here. This is not over for sure. But right now, Uverhaus, well, he's been given an early birthday present, hasn't he? He's driving away here. Gifted a couple of tenths to work with. As Heinemann retakes the fastest lap, or does the fastest lap once again. Vivacqua still in 2nd. JP Southern is in 3rd spot. And this has been fascinating here. Pick your opportunities kind of circuit, really, isn't it? You try and overtake it every turn. Ultimately, you're just going to lose so much time. But you've got to feel sorry for Capo. He had made no mistakes all race. And the one small error he makes, it cost him 2 spots. As we see Sophie Hoffman drifting out into the gravel. And if you haven't touched that gravel with at least 2 wheels during a race weekend at the Lausitzring, are you really a race driver? That is the only thing I can say about that corner. So through turn number 1 we go. Matthias Salonen then under all sorts of pressure here. The Kauhaupt coming through. Eduard Kauhaupt trying to make some inroads here. And again, the BWT Muka Motorsport team, they're making inroads later on in this race. They qualified well, 4th and 5th. But ultimately, they will not be happy with 6th and 9th, to be completely honest. As Theo Uverhaus is the next one to make a mistake here. And I think you'll find that Mercedes has got enough straight line speed. Doesn't matter, gets straight across the bonnet there. Forces Uverhaus then to get off the gas. Will sit in behind. And yeah, the BWT team are really starting to fly. Have they figured something out during this race? Historically, in the first couple of races of the season, you'll see a few drivers that maybe don't quite get their maximum performance in the weekend, or don't even look like they should be anywhere near the front. But ultimately, when it gets to sort of rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, they've learned so much about the car. Maybe it's their first time in the car, and they really will head towards the front end of the grid. So do not expect this to be how the championship plays out, that's for sure. This will be fascinating from start to finish. Guaranteed. Got Elvin Ferdian. He's like, go, 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 Toyota. Lots of Toyota fans in the chat today. Rux, the camera shots here are amazing, aren't they? The camera shots are amazing. They try some really cool stuff. So we are on the second to last lap here. So once the timing heads to 0, we then have one more lap. So when they cross the line at 0, or the leader crosses the line at 0, then there is one more lap here. 3.3 seconds is the advantage. Tim Heinemann has done the job, hasn't he? He really has done the job. Hopefully you have all enjoyed this broadcast as well. Make sure that you indeed subscribe to DTM on YouTube. Every single race this season for the DTM Trophy, every single qualifying session, and FP2 of every race weekend are live on YouTube. And if you can't watch it on YouTube, that means that you have it on television in your country somewhere. So you should absolutely check it out. Coming up then towards those final few corners. Again, we will have one more lap after this. Still battles all over the show right now. And I just think we've got to be pretty impressed with Almeida. Almeida's made his way back up the order here into a top 5. He's going to be happy with that. Capo, he'll have unfinished business to sort out tomorrow. I tell you what, he's a cool dude, is Capo. Spoke to him yesterday. A really, really nice lad as well. If you're going to try and send it, don't do it around the outside there, unless you're trying to get an overlap. Well, I tell you what, this might work out. This might be a beautiful move here from Kauhaub. I just didn't think that was on. Has found himself the opportunity. Salonen is going to run wide in towards that final couple of corners. And that was, well, out of his own playbook. Kauhaub moves up a position. Salonen dropping back then. Fulgencio will go around the outside. I'm sure, though, the straight line speed of that Audi will get him out of trouble in terms of the BMW. But Kauhaub, Eduard Kauhaub, take a bow. That was beautiful there. Ran it out nice and deep, and it was almost a mistake. But got that overlap, got the car tucked in on the exit round the outside. And wow, he's not looking back here. So ultimately, the BW team have kind of made some real big inroads. They figured something out with the car, for sure, over the course of this race. As Heinemann will not be looking to the left. Last time out at the Lausitzring, Heinemann was involved in the biggest crash I've ever commentated on in the real world of motorsport. It was not the best of weekends for him, that's for sure. And then we only ever saw him one more race weekend of that season. Again, there are reasons, but he's back. He is back racing for Toyota Gazoo Racing Germany, powered by Ring Racing, arguably the longest name in the world of motorsport. But I'm sure he's not too bothered about it right now, as he has merely a few corners left to go. Tim Heinemann's stats in the DTM. He's had 18 starts up until today. He had had 7 poles. He had had 7 first positions. He'd had 3 seconds and 3 thirds. Add a pole position to that, he's got 8. And add a race win to Tim Heinemann's tally. It's 8 race wins. It's the first win of the 2022 DTM Trophy season. Oh, different championship, same old Heinemann. What a result that is. Debutant Vivacqua will take P2. Hashtag Viva Vivacqua. JP Southern on his debut will get that 3rd spot on the podium. Cracking drive from him. Hanka, another debutant, will take 4th. The same for Almeida. And then we've got Theo Uverhaus, our youngest ever winner, will take P6, will be the lead BMW. That is something that he will be able to take solace with for sure. Capo will be left reeling. He'll be thinking, oh, it could have been so much more today, but he would have learned a hell of a lot about himself and about the car and about the team. Kauhaub P8 absolutely did well. Once he made a few mistakes at the start, he really recovered nicely. Salonen will take P9. Fulgencio will take P10. Then it's Henkefend, Lona, Regal, Gregor, Hoffman, Patamba, Wallace, and then I think it's going to be Folev and Papadopoulos. Karasani, unfortunately, was a DNF. But there is the man of the moment, Tim Heinemann. And I'm telling you now, I spoke to Tim over the last few years because of DTM Trophy, and he's always come across as a little bit uptight and always a bit stressed about things. He is the most relaxed Tim Heinemann I have ever seen. Just seems so relaxed, so in tune, and just seems very, very happy with his ability, very happy with where he is. And he seems very confident about his future within this championship. Sensational performance in qualifying, a sensational performance in this race. Here are your official race standings. Heinemann P1, Vivacqua takes P2, 3 seconds further back. JP Southern then takes P3. Hanke in 4th, Almeida 5th. Uverhaus is in 6th position. Capo in 7th. Then we've got Kauhaup in 8th spot. Salonen and Fulgencio round out your top 10. Then we've got Henkefend, Lohner, Regal, Gregor, Hoffman, Petamba, Wallace, Folev, and Papadopoulos are your classified drivers. DNF there for Karasani. So there it is, weaving left and right, celebrating a duly deserved victory for the longest name in the world of motorsport. Tim Heinemann for Toyota Gazoo Racing Germany, powered by Ring Racing, is your DTM Trophy 2022 winner of Race 1. If you have any questions about the championship across this weekend, because we do still have qualifying for Race 2 tomorrow and Race 2 tomorrow as well, so it's not done yet. I've just posted in the chat my at ActRollVision on Twitter and indeed Instagram. Shoot me a DM or shoot me a message, whatever you need to do on either platform. I'm happy to answer any questions. There's a lot of people here that are new to this series. This series is so fun to be involved in, and I want to make sure everybody is as comfortable as possible. If you're watching on television, again, at ActRollVision on the socials. I'm now going to leave you with a podium ceremony, and wow, what a result. Heinemann, Vivacqua, and JP Southern are your podium sitters.
Der Saison 2022. Wir fangen an mit dem Drittplatzierten aus Ohio, Cleveland in den Vereinigten Staaten. Sein Name ist JP Southern. Congratulations! Unser zweitplatzierter Fahrer kommt aus Brasilien und nennt sich Thiago Vivacqua. Platz 2. Gratulation! Das siegreiche Team Ring Racing, vertreten durch Uwe Kleen. Gratulation! Und hier haben wir ihn, Sieger, Lauf Nummer 1 der DTM Trophy auf dem Lausitzring aus Deutschland, Tim Heinemann. Gratulation! Tja, meine Damen und Herren, und dafür gibt es zu Ehren des Siegers, zu Ehren von Tim Heinemann, die deutsche Hymne. Viel Spaß! Applaus für unsere Top 3 plus das siegreiche Team hier oben. Und wir kommen zur Übergabe der Pokale und fangen an mit dem Drittplatzierten aus den Händen von Ronny Sage, dem Gewinner der DTM Fan Experience. Der kleine Pokal für JP Southern aus den Vereinigten Staaten. Wenn ihr mal Fan Experience Gewinner werden wollt, kommt einfach fleißig rüber ins Fan Village, nehmt teil und morgen könnt ihr vielleicht schon die Trophäe übergeben. Wir haben Sören Blackout Aulbach, der Instastar, mit der Trophäe für Thiago Vivacqua. Die kleine Trophäe für das siegreiche Team von Guido Kutschera, dem Managing Director der Dekra Automobil. Und der Pokal geht an Uwe Kleen, stellvertretend für das Team Ring Racing. Gratulation! Erneut aus den Händen Guido Kutscheras, dem Managing Director der Dekra, die Trophäe für unseren Sieger, für Tim Heinemann. Ja, natürlich gibt es auch Glückwünsche an alle anderen. Ich würde euch bitten, einmal zusammen zu treten. Please get together for the podium photographies. And as soon as you are happy and the photographers are, I'd say, gentlemen, time for champagne!